Okay, I'm here in Korea. I'm with NaNiwa, and he's just got back to Korea actually. And so the place, we're obviously going to talk about MLG in this interview, but I thought what we'd do to start off the interview was, the event before that was Dreamhack, and you'd come off like a good Dreamhack earlier in the year, but this time you went out in like, I think group stage round 2 or something. So how did actually Dreamhack go for you from your perspective?
Well, it could have gone better. Like, obviously I didn't want to go out in round 2, but I think I played pretty okay. I think sometimes things just don't go your way. I lost a really bad game 3 to Suppi, where I scouted what he was doing, but I didn't react properly in time. And against Squirtle, I lost a 1-hour game on Whirlwind in game 3, and then I was out. So it's kind of unfortunate, I think. But I still felt like my play was quite good, and if I just fixed those things, I could have probably won the games.
So, like, actually, you obviously went out to some decent players at Dreamhack at least, but what had your actual practice going into that tournament been like? I mean, as far as I know, you were just in Sweden for a while. Like, when was the last time you were actually in Korea, like, before this time?
Before that time? Before Dreamhack Stockholm.
Okay.
So I haven't been in Korea for a long time now. Before Dreamhack Stockholm, I was only in Korea for 1 week, and that's all I've been in HOTS.
So going into MLG, one of the things I noticed was, even though I think you said in an interview like you were ill, or you might have even mentioned that you weren't in Korea, but I think a lot of people assumed because you had been in Korea before that you were just staying in Korea permanently and then you would fly to events. But like you just said, you hadn't actually been in Korea for a while. What effect do you think that actually had on your play or your practice?
I think my play was not as as smooth as it could have been. Like, you don't get pushed the same way by European players as you get by Korean players. Like, if you have a weak build or a weakness in your build, they will exploit it. So you can refine your builds in Korea in a different way than in Europe. So I think if I was in Korea, my builds would have been more smooth, and I could have played a bit stronger, I guess. But I think overall, I would have probably used like pretty much the same builds though, because I just felt like they worked quite well.
So when you actually went to MLG, like you said in an interview with Slasher, that you didn't actually want to go to MLG, like it had already been booked by your organization, and that you were ill as well, and then also since you were in Korea, you hadn't really had like top practice. So when you were going to the event, were you actually really thinking like, I might not do well, or I don't even want to go here? Like, what were you really thinking when you were going into MLG?
I just thought I have to go, so I might as well like try my best. I didn't expect to do well as I did. Like, I came 3rd/4th, which is like way better than I thought I would. Like, when I saw the bracket, the winner bracket, I thought, okay, I can probably win against Huck quite easily, and then I will play Polt, which will be pretty hard. And it went as I thought. But then I played against Jaedong. And as I think I said then, I expected the game to be very, very hard. But I think some luck was on my side regarding build orders and so on. I don't know how to explain it. My level was not like the best I've been at. Like at Dreamhack Stockholm, I felt like really good. Like, I've just been to Korea. I know where my skill is at. But when I went to MLG, I had no clue about my skill.
So when you beat Jaedong, this was like the second time you two have met, but in theory the key thing was that before you ever met him in the Dreamhack Stockholm, you'd already practiced with him in the EGTL house. And so I remember you did a text interview on the Alliance website after that event where you sort of said like, you know, I expected Jaedong to be better than me, but I think he underestimated my style of play, or how good I actually was. And so, okay, so you beat him that once, but now in theory he should have a better idea of like how you would play or something. Why do you think you were able to beat him potentially even easier this time?
I think it's because my playstyle is very different from other Protoss players. Like, how to say? I play very much on my build orders, and like I don't know if it's a good thing to explain this to everyone, but like I plan the entire game in advance. So like if he does this, I do that. And if I do this and he does that, I do another thing, and so on. So like I'm very good at making scenarios unfold. Like I expected pretty much Jaedong to do what he did. Like I thought he would play Roach Hydra against me, which he did. So I thought I would win quite easily, I guess, in game 1. But then he scouted my Dark Shrine. So I thought I would lose game 1, but he didn't see it, apparently. So I had a pretty big advantage in the start. And I think if I have a good advantage, then that combined with Jaedong not like being super understanding in CVP, I think I would have had a pretty good chance of winning, which was the case. But in game 2, nothing really went my way. Like, I worked in 6 zealots, he already had the counter prepared. I killed like 3 drones, I lost like 6 zealots then, and he counterattacked me and I defended it, so then I was back in the game. And then from that, I think I understood what to do and he did not.
So after that you played Deer, who's is this for a Kesper team?
Yeah.
Okay, so he's someone who STX Soul. He's someone who you didn't have experience playing though, and since you haven't been in Korea, you couldn't have like played him on the ladder on a barcode or anything. It sounded from the interview that you did afterwards, like again, like with Jaedong, you thought like Deer's probably going to beat me. So like, how were you able to actually beat him? Like, do you think he wasn't expecting how you played?
I don't know if I expected to lose, but I expected him to be favored against me. Like, it might even be like a block I have against Korean players. Like, I obviously don't have a block, but like, how do you say it? I think they're way better than they are. Like, people seem to think like the Koreans are here and we are like down here, but I don't actually think the gap is that big as they think. So I thought I can't really know until I play him, at least game 1. So I thought in game 1 I'll just play pretty defensive and I like feel him out and see how he reacts to some things. And I expanded and he played a pretty common build in Korea, like Blink, Pressure. But I really had no problems with defending against his attacks and so on. I don't know, after game 1 I felt like I'm probably stronger than Deer, like at least on that day. So I thought I would try his build, and he did like my build the next game. And his micro seemed a bit off, and his decision making was not so good either. I don't know why. I think he might have been a bit shaken up by game 1. I think he expected an easy win though, so I guess that's why.
So for this tournament, we've actually mentioned this in the Grilled interview we did in the past. You've had like a really weird but good record in tournaments, especially like MLGs, but especially actually when maybe your practice wasn't ideal before or you couldn't practice very much at all. And so you kind of speculated in the Grilled that you thought it was because if you had to travel so far and you had to go all the way there, it's like you kind of just felt like you had to do well, whereas if it was an event just in Europe, you thought like, oh, I can be home in like a short amount of time, it's not that big a deal. Did this placing here like confirm that theory for you, do you think?
Well, it didn't really like, how do you say it, make it not confirmed. I don't know how to say it in English. I think it's a factor, but I think the really important thing is that when I don't practice, I tend to not feel any like pressure on like performing. So I think I can show like 100% by then. And sometimes when you even if you practice like a lot, you're in really good shape, you play like 60%, it could be a lot worse than like you don't practice at all and you play 100%. So I think I just played 100%, and I don't know the exact reasoning behind it, because if I did, then I would always do it.
And there's also like a side factor people could obviously mention, which is even though you lost to good players at DreamHack, you actually went out in the second group stage, and there's 3 group stages, and then you go to the bracket. So in theory, you didn't actually have to play many players with your builds and like what you had in mind. So how much of what you had at DreamHack did you just like recycle the stuff that you hadn't shown or whatever at this tournament?
I had a few builds at DreamHack against Zerg. Like I only played 1 Zerg in the entire tournament, so I had like a lot of builds left that I hadn't shown. So I didn't change my builds at all against Zerg. I just took the exact same ones to MLG, and the same for Protoss actually. Like I knew SortOf wouldn't go to MLG. I knew Knight didn't want to go, so I just played the exact same way there as well. And the only problem was against Thorin, I guess, because my TVP is not very good at the moment still. And I played Thorin in like bow 7, or maybe it was 5. No, I think 7. I'm not sure though. So I knew I showed a lot of games there. So the only thing I was really thinking about was TVP, but I couldn't really think of enough good strats to win against Polt.
So you actually only lost to the guy who eventually won the whole tournament, Polt. You lost him upper hand in the semi-final. How do you evaluate his actual strength at the tournament? Like in the 2 times you played him, how strong was he, do you think?
The first time he was very, very strong, I think. But I think the second time I played him, I won game 1, and I felt I was playing quite well. But I overestimated him a bit, I think. I chose a pretty bad build order for game 2, but I don't know how to say it. It's very hard to go into a series like that when you're down 0-2 from the start, and you know you have to win 4 games. It's like, if you're too safe, you will be taken advantage of, and if you're too greedy, you're just too risky, I guess, then you will also be taken advantage of by like an all-in, because he has 2 more lives than you, right? So it's really hard to plan. I don't have that many experiences like being down 0-2 in a bow 7 like that from the start, so I think I just didn't have the experience that I have to choose the right builds in the right times.
So as well as your performance making it so far, an element that a lot of the fans obviously noticed was the drama of like, you didn't want to shake hands with Polt, and when he came over, like you talked to him a bit, but it looked like you kind of tried. People wondered, did you like just purposely pretend you couldn't shake his hand, like you were too busy putting your keyboard away or something like that? What were you actually saying to Polt when he was talking to you, and like what is your perspective on whether someone should shake hands, whether they shouldn't shake hands? What do you think about it?
Personally, in Sweden we don't really do that. Like, if you lose and you want to shake hands, it's fine. I understand. That's like the general conception in Sweden, at least.
So if you're the loser, then it's okay to go up?
It's okay to go up then. Then it's like you admit it was like a good game, you won because you're better than me. But the winner going up is really BM, as far as I know. And a lot of players feel the exact same way as me, I know that for sure. Personally, looking back on that exact thing, if someone gives you like a thumbs down and trash talks you in an interview and then goes and shakes your hand when you lost, I think I had enough reason to not feel like shaking his hand. I don't really understand why it's such a big deal, to be honest. Like, it's not like I told him to fuck off or whatever. Like, I just didn't feel like shaking his hand when I lost a game. When I traveled like 20 hours, I was flamed and so on. So I think it's pretty impressive by the fans, I guess, on Reddit to take it that far in the hate for me. I don't know what to say exactly about it. Like, personally, I don't have any regrets about it. If it happened again, I would do the exact same thing.
So there's going to be some people, due to your result here in such a deep field, who'll say, okay, NaNiwa's like, he might be the best foreigner now, or he's definitely amongst the best foreigners. Like, do you feel as though this is accurate placing for you?
Well, I don't think there's any like doubt that I'm like among the best foreigners, at least. I don't know if I'm the best one, and I don't think it really is important. Like, I just want to keep doing as well as I can, like for every single tournament I go to. If that means like I'm the second best foreigner, third best foreigner, whatever, I don't care. Like, some people seem to think it's like a huge change from playing a foreigner to a Korean, but personally I don't care who I play very much. Like if I play Deer or I play like Cas or whatever, it's the same to me.
So you're in Korea now. You just got here from America. What is your actual plan for what you'll do with your time in Korea? Like how will you make use of it?
I feel like I have some holes in my play that I really have to fix. So that's like my first priority. So I will just like practice like 10 hours a day at least, and just try to improve as well as I can. And then hopefully I can like make a pretty good result at the WCS and Valencia if I go there. I'm pretty sure I go, but I'm not 100% sure yet.
So actually, a piece of news for Alliance was that SortOf has been added to the team, and he's coming to Korea as well, I think. What do you think of having him on the team? Like, did you already get along with him before he joined? Like, what do you think of him coming to Korea?
Yeah, we've been like practicing for like the last year, like ever since he joined Western Wolves, and we played Rings of Liberty together. He was doing very well there. Partly due to the Infestor, obviously. But he's like a pretty good player, to be honest. Like he beat Hune 3-0 at NASL, if I remember correctly, and he's done some pretty good things. So I don't think he should be like seen as a weak player, because I don't think he is. As I said already, we practiced a lot together, so it's always nice to have a guy here, especially who can like speak Swedish and so on. So I'm very content with the player they chose.
Okay, do you have a final message or any final words for someone?
I should have one, but I'm trying to think of the best way to say it without making too many people angry. I don't know. I just want to say thanks to all the Swedish fans I had the support from the Twitter and so on, since when I played MLG. Like, I was really shocked when I heard all the kind of shit that went on there, like booing and stuff like that. I don't understand how the American fans can be that spiteful, I guess, towards me for something like that small. Like, the reasoning doesn't really make sense to me that much. Maybe that's just me, but I don't think so. I don't know what to say. I shouldn't care about them, but I don't want to just say fuck all the fans, because I don't want to do like that, but I don't know. I won't say anything, I guess.
So anyone else you'd like to thank?
Thanks to my team for sending me out here. That's very nice. I want to go here for a while now. And I guess keep cheering for me when I play WCS and Dreamhack. That's all, I guess.
Tack.
Tack.